My name is Lori Kirstein. I am with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. And what I do here is I demystify the bullshit. We demystify the bullshit together. Hey, it's Moonlight Dolphins. Did you make those cards yet? Because I really, I could see it in my head. Wow. How are you, hon? So that's what I do. I am with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, and what we do here on a almost daily basis. The only time I'm not here, the only day I'm not live here is on Wednesdays when I don't seem to have the time, but, here I am right now. And what I usually start with is a collective tarot reading for all of us to just hone in on where we are as a collective and how we're doing and what we need to focus on to keep moving forward because these times are so freaking weird. And these are the times that try men's and women's souls. And, it takes a very special, hey, spiritual journey. Hi, honey. It takes a very special kind of perspective. It takes a very special kind of outlook. It takes a very special kind of fortitude. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's so cool. Is she an artist? Uh, is she an artist? Like, would she be able to help you with that? Hi, Letty B. Hi, integrity. Yes. Yes. Integrity over compromise every time. Wow. So it takes a very specific kind of perspective to go through these times. And it also takes putting ourselves first in a way that um, brings our understanding of our calmness, the importance of our nervous system being okay, and why that's important to us because we can help when we are okay. We can't help when we're not okay. My God, we're still figuring out how to help all of ourselves. Oh, hey, spiritual journey. I am doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. She's a nurse. Nurses are like what hold up the entire medical community. I mean, I feel the same about nurses as I do about secretaries, except nurses actually have to do with life and death, you know? So, what is it that you are doing? What is it that you need to do during these times when it is very disturbing to see the news every day? It is very disturbing to try to do our lives in the ways that we're used to doing, and they're not all of them are working anymore. They're not, or if they're working, they're not working the same ways. I'm curious to know what it is that you're struggling with, that you're working with, that is making you go, "What the heck is going on? Things aren't working the way they used to work." And I will put one forward for you. The whole thing about looking for a job, is really different now than when I was, like, 16 and 25 and even 35. Like, it's so different now, and I want to say that for me, it's never made a whole lot of sense. Hey, Eve, great to see you. Um, it's never made a whole lot of sense to me. I always had it in my head, there's a million people out there looking for the same job, how am I gonna get the job? And so I always went looking for something else that I could do as well. I always wanted the side gig. I wanted to actually do, my own business, and doing your own business is such a different thing than when you are working in a corporation. It's such a completely different mindset. I mean, it's like you have to it's your quick personal growth pill. If you really want to grow fast, try to start a company. Oh my God. You know how people say to you, "Oh, hey, you do that thing so well. Why don't you start a business?" Because it's like people would buy that. And you're like, "Okay." And you start it. Hi, Ran. And you start the business and then you're like, "What the hell am I doing?" So you have to figure out so much stuff. You have to figure out how to express what it is you're offering. You have to learn how to do some marketing or how to hire somebody to do some marketing. And if you don't have any money for it, I mean, it just sort of goes on and unfolds. And it requires a kind of empowerment that I now have, but because I've been at this for 20 years. But when I first started, Shaky librarian. Hi, welcome. Miss Parker Stewart. Hello, hello. When I started, I had 30 years, maybe 25 years of experience in corporate America. And I thought, well, I've got all that I need. And now it turns out that as I started into doing my own business, I didn't know squat. And now come into the present time. And even though I know a lot more now, look at how the world is sort of breaking down, breaking apart, and things are very different, right? Things are very fractured. Well, what I've learned in my life is the very incredible importance of community and how when we come together, hi, Skyward, hi, Shara, baby. Um, when we come together, the collective mind is so much stronger than just your mind all alone. It's so important to come together in groups, to create your own damn group if you have to. Create a group of 2. It really doesn't matter. You just have to get started and come together, because what happens when you start sharing ideas and sharing um, wild and crazy thoughts is that new ideas come forward. You spark each other. It's an actual electronic thing that happens between our nervous systems. That's actually what happens. And imagine being in this crazy ass world we're in right now. Yes, please share this out. Please share this out for me. And please also give me lots of hearts so that I can get this out to the other people and we can let people know they're not alone. All right. This is the most important thing for us right now to understand. I think it's the single most important thing is that there are so many of us. And when you bring us together and we start to open a little bit and say, here's what I've been thinking, or here's what I'm afraid of, or here's what I think is a great idea, or here's a wacky idea, we get spurred by each other. We come up with amazing ideas of what we can be doing, how we can be creating a new way of living for ourselves individually, and how we can be moving the needle on what's happening in the United States, which is utter crap. It's crap. What's going on is very scary, very distasteful, very it just makes you kinda wanna puke, honestly, and it's, we've got immigrants who are afraid to come out of their houses, and there's just so much that has been not okay with our culture for such a long time. Well, here is our opportunity to rebuild. Here is our opportunity to look at things from a different perspective. And that is what I do. That is what I encourage. There is no way you can follow rules that are not your own and come up with a new idea. You cannot follow rules and come up with a new idea. It doesn't work that way. It's why my business is called the Goodbye Good Girl Project, because I realized some years ago that the reason most of us are miserable is because we're following some rules, some internal rules that we took in, that we were given, that we decided to hold on to them and run with them. And then we're like, why can't I be happy? And it's because what your brain believes, what your brain has put in the grooves of your brain, which, yes, can be shifted, yes, can be transformed. But as long as you keep along that same belief without opening to possibilities, then you keep creating the same stuff over and over and over again. And there is a ton, yes, of division and confusion and fear. And I think that one of the things that is happening is this is the vision that I got when I heard somebody say the other day that the e-files are not just about individuals. They are going to show us ultimately the entire nasty underbelly that's been building our world for this whole time, building our structure in the US for the whole time. And we are going to be able to see that it's just all rotten. So that's going to eliminate the vision that I got was this eliminates us being separate because everybody goes, "Yeah, no, I don't want that." Everybody goes, "Okay, now everybody's on the same page," or at least most. Like, now we're up at least 90%. And people going, "This is not what I want. This is not what I thought it was. It's not who I thought we were." And we have to actually thank you, Moonlight. Thank you. And we actually have to do things differently. That's what's happening. At least that's what feels and seems completely right to me, because I always wondered, how are we gonna get out of this crap? How are we gonna get out of this? How are we gonna get everybody, or at least to the tipping point of people being on the same page, going, "No, we have to honor women. We have to honor immigrants. We have to honor the human." Like, how are we gonna get this going? Like, what the fuck is going on? Sorry, trying to swear less, but, that may not happen. But honestly, how are we gonna get it? And it finally, that was one way I can see. That makes sense. Oh, and, we're living in the time of the age of Aquarius, and all of the people who are throwing tarot, including me, are seeing all of this light and expansion coming through to show exactly what's up. It's turning on the light in the kitchen at midnight and seeing all the roaches. Nothing else will do. Nothing else will take us out of the old. Do you understand? The age of Aquarius is so different from the age of Pisces, which we've left. We've left it recently, but we've left it. It's so different. The age of Aquarius is the age of personal agency. The age of Aquarius is like the age of obedience, the age of following and learning from. Nothing wrong with it, but if you want to get your groove on, if you want to create a life that you create, where instead of you spending all of your time going, "What are the rules of the world? And let me see if I can learn them and do them well enough." And then I keep failing at it because everybody is not created exactly the same. We're all unique and different and wonderful. Instead of that, you go, "Oh, I'm ready to learn that I have the power." Now, this freaks us out. It freaks people out, especially who are really, really connected to religion. Really freaks them out. And, and I understand it, but it's going to have to go away bit by bit. So for me, like, why not start now? Why not look at it now? There's this idea that somebody's in charge of us, that somebody is taking control and somebody is making things happen. And so we're not out of control, right? We have somebody who's just making sure that we're going in the right direction and all that. But have you noticed that no matter how much you pray and no matter how much you have faith, whatever that means for you individually? Oh, I think so too, spiritual. I do too. Hi, Janine. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the family. Um, so the more that things go wrong, we keep making up more stuff. Oh, well, God wanted that not to work for me because God wanted me to have this. I have a friend right now who just found out that she's got cancer. And she said, "I knew this was going to happen 15 years ago." Like, she said, I knew this was going to happen. Isn't that interesting? Doesn't that make you stop and think? I mean, what it did make me think was, you can look at it two ways, right? That we have a feeling something's going to happen, but what if we are creating it? Oh, yay. Janine, yay! Yay! Where's my sound effects? We need a hurrah. Woohoo! You are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, Janine. Oh my god, how are you doing? You're doing good. awesome. Oh my god. That had to be, like, intensely scary. I mean, wow. Anytime we give up our power, "Hi, hi, here, you can put me under, and I won't know what's happening." But I knew you were gonna be okay, and here you are. I'm glad I was right. 2 weeks post-op. Oh, you being gentle? Be gentle with you. Gotta be gentle. So important, and it's difficult. At least it seems to me that in the last few surgeries that I've had, it's been a challenge to be kind to myself afterwards. Yeah, trying to take it easy. It's weird because we get into this, like, "Okay, well, this is how I operate. I'm just gonna go out and do things and make things happen," and then it's suddenly, Stop. Now you gotta sit down and just keep sitting down for weeks." It's like, "What?" I have a friend who had, heart surgery last year, and, she's the same as me. She's like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go," and, whatever. Okay, so the woman that I was telling you about who's like, she's like, "I knew that I was gonna have that illness." Did she create it? Still going and go you're the Energizer Bunny, right? Right? Aren't you like the bunny in Zootopia? Judy Hopps? I love those movies so much. They say we create our own reality. And what I've learned from personal experience is that we are so intimately involved with the flavor of our lives, with the nature, the quality of our lives. But that doesn't mean, hi, I decided to be really mean to myself. It's not about being mean to yourself. It's not about that. And Janine, that's really awesome. So, hi, Ash Marie. Um, so here's the thing I wanna posit. I wanna put this in front of you guys, see what you think. So you all know that I went homeless when in my 50s. Um, Found my way back out, but oh dear God. Hey, Ash. Um, and so the question I had in my head for a while was like, did I do this to myself? And why would I do that? And what I decided was a cool way to look at it was that before I came into this life, I decided I wanted to get over my fear of poverty and I wanted to understand that I am abundance. And so that's what I came in wanting to do. And that's the way that the energy just came in through my fear because I've always been afraid of poverty, even though I grew up upper middle class. What? Yes. Not upper middle class, but like I never wanted for anything. And so I figured that's what happened. Like it could have been anything. But I guess if you really want to know that you are abundance, you're going to have to have everything taken away so you can discover that you are abundant. So it makes sense to me. And Janine, what you experienced with finding the heart valve that needed to be fixed, God, it's good to have you back, sweetie. It really is. I'm so happy that you're well. Um, this is something I'm finding is like we get these incredible added benefits when we let ourselves live more in our feminine. And what I mean is when we allow ourselves to do the things that are more feminine, like taking a break, like nurturing ourselves. Oh my God, Janine, really? That's huge. That is huge. Wow. Wow. Congratulations. That's freaking amazing. Oh, thank you for the hearts, guys. Please share this out so we can get more people in here and help people understand that they have the power. They're not alone. This time in our history is not the ending, it is the beginning. It is the ending of the old and it is the beginning of the new, and we are making it happen. Okay. I've got TikTok here. I've got Substack over here, and Substack doesn't seem to take a whole lot of notice of me lately, but I'm gonna crack that code. I'm gonna crack that code. But I love my TikTok people. I know they're messing with TikTok and all that stuff, but I love you guys. More Adora's here. Hi, honey. We have an energy. We are an energy. What was I listening to this morning? It was fascinating. Oh my God. Somebody was talking about how we're not even atoms. More, I love that. When Finest comes in, Finest always goes, "Hi, fam," and I love that. Um, Remind me to tell you something about that once. About that. Anyway, so this person was saying that we're not that even. Okay, let me start over. We are energy, and when it comes to like quantum physics, God help us all, everything is like a wave of energy. Okay, and when we focus on something, that wave of possibility becomes a specific point. It literally becomes a point. We're talking on a level that, we can't see. We don't see it with our eyes, but this is what happens. We take our possibilities, and when we focus, we then bring all of these possibilities down to a point. So if we don't know what we want, but we do know the quality of what we want. I want to feel love without objection. I want to feel absolutely just drenched in love. I want to feel how I am creating everything in every moment by understanding what this world is made of. It's made of energy, and understanding that, and I want to be having fun. I want to be having fun. I want to be going through my life and being fascinated every day instead of being scared or upset every day, right? And how do I do that in this crazy freaking world? So when you get to the how do I, understand that there's a part of that you can answer, and there's a part of it that's none of your damn business. The part of it that's none of your damn business, I know. Moonlight, I know. The part of it that's none of your business is the how you're going to get there overall. All that is your responsibility, all that is your business is what is your right next step, and does it feel good? That's your whole life, lovely? That's awesome. Oh, wait, what is your whole life? The sad, angry, and sick? Or just taking or worry? Tell me what you mean, lovely. And welcome to the family. I appreciate you. Um, do you guys, is there anybody here who doesn't understand the concept, the idea that we really are energy first? Okay. So let me give you, oh, not knowing what direction. Oh, I know that was my story forever. And, I'm at this point fine tuning, I guess you would say. But, I always wanted to be, an actor, and I became an actor. I became a professional actor, but I did not become Julia Roberts. Like, I did not become able to support myself as an actor. Not yet anyway, but I leave it open. I leave it open at the top. Leave it open at the top. It could happen. When we decide this is how something has to happen, this is how it's gotta be, we're cutting off all of these possibilities of ways that things can come to us in just like magically. I've had so many restarts, me too, everything I wanted to do because the option of where I ended up in the end. I don't understand that. I know that when I stopped, now this is me because I try really hard. I am such a perseverer. So maybe if you're not a huge perseverer, this may not apply to you in this way. Okay. Because anything anybody says to you, including me, just make sure that it resonates with you, because if it does not resonate with you, it is not your truth to stand next to, even. Okay. This is what we owe ourselves. We owe ourselves our emotional honesty about what works for us, what seems right for us, and what doesn't feel right. We have the right to question. What did you say? I don't understand it. That doesn't make sense to me. When I hear that, I hear this, and you might mean this, but I don't get it. Like, we have the right and the responsibility to say that, to do that. I have to plug in my phone. Hold on a second. Someday I will have somebody who can do this stuff for me. It'll be cool. So what I did, and I think, lovely, you may appreciate the story. What I did, I'm going to say maybe 8, 9, 10 months ago, I decided to stop trying. Now, I don't mean to stop doing anything. I don't mean that. I don't mean sit around like a slug. But what I decided to do was to follow what I felt was absolutely true and to see if it, yay, we do, Moonlight. Yes. Um, that's the real meaning of family, in my opinion. Okay. So what I decided was, oh, it's okay. You're doing fine. I understand you. And even people without learning disabilities have trouble communicating. I'm sure you've noticed. I'm sure you've noticed. Nobody is taught to communicate well, and then you put text on top of it. Good luck. Um, so you're fine. Um, so what I knew, what I had heard through Abraham Hicks, through other teachers throughout the decades, and I had heard this idea that if we, there's several ways to put it. So one way is, if we just get out of the way, then all of the stuff that's supposed to come through us and be fine, um, will just come through, and we'll be in alignment with what we need. I mean, I was told that in my late 20s. Like, what I was told was, if you just surrender, you will have one hell of a life. Oh my God. That messed me up good. Because what is surrender? Can you jump on video chat? Yeah, in a little while, lovely. Ask again, okay? Or make the request, and when I can let you in, I will. Yep. Um, Hi Lily, welcome to the party. I was like, I know that there's an energy. The other way that people look at it is, if I'm aligned vibrationally with what I want, it has to just fall into my life. And you've had those moments, right? You've had those moments where something just suddenly came in. It just happened. And you're like, that came out of the blue. And you know what? It came out of your blue. It came out of your blue. And I'm not sure I know. How can you forget if you're reminded of what you don't have all the time? Oh, well, what that's called is our incredible trained ability. We've been trained to focus on the negative. We've been trained that if we focus on the negative, we will somehow keep it away. And that's exactly backwards. Where we put our focus is where the energy increases. It's so simple, it's difficult, right? We will, and we do, right now, right in this moment, right here, right now. Moonlight. Bartholomew, hey, how are you, sweetie? There's nothing stronger than the collective when it's focused on a quality, on a quality. Like, you'll never get people to agree 100%. It's not gonna happen. Like okay, we're gonna write a book. What's the book gonna be about? Well, I want it to be about cowboys. Well, I want it to be about spirituality. Well, I want it to be about fashion. Well, I want it, like, but we could all agree. I'm glad to hear it, Bartholomew. Send some food when you're done, okay? But we can all agree on the nature of the book. We want a book that supports everybody and uplifts. And then we can come to answers about how do we do it? Well, you know what? Maybe if we each had our own chapter, and you can write your chapter as if you're a cowboy, and you can write your chapter from the spiritual perspective, and you can write your chapter as a cookbook, or whatever. But but we can all agree on the quality of life that we want. And if we can let go of being so damned determined to have it our way, and to trust that when we discuss, when we bring different thoughts together, and we hold on tighter to the nature of the thing than to the how, than to the specificity of it, then we can go so far, right? That's the shift. That's the shift. It's that shift from I know the only way it has to be to I know the quality that is right, that I like for all of us. And that does separation as well, doesn't it? Self-determination. Yes. Yes, in a very intimate way, I think, Bartholomew. I do. I think that it's gonna be, hmm, the short answer is yes. And the longer answer is we use a c we the masculine side of the brain, we only use for 10% of our life. 10%, not of our life. Let me start over. We only use 10% of our brain for things like strategy and practicality. And we've been without the matriarchy. We've just been removed from it. And so, of course, we've been trying to, I won't, don't give me that. Don't give me that. Something, I just was given the weirdest image and I cannot say it. Um, but we've been walking around on one leg for millennia and thinking we can do that. And it doesn't work. Like the only time you're allowed to have the feminine, the only time you're allowed to feel soft and caring and stuff is if you're having sex or if you're having a baby. Um, but the rest of it is like, well, man up. You're like, no, no. We all, women included, have been living from the masculine so much. It's not right. It doesn't work and it is not safe. Beautifully said. It is not safe. And you can see that the structure, it had to fall apart, right? I mean, that was something that apparently was part of the plan, part of the grand, plan of the universe, because the universe runs on thousands and thousands of years of cycles. And oh my God, it's too big for us to even really comprehend. And now we've come out of the age of Pisces. Well, and we are watching it burn. But here's the thing. If we keep looking at what's wrong with it if we only look at what's wrong, that's how we get into trouble. Because that's what we've been doing. Let me see. I'm throughout my life up until I'm going to say the last year. No, actually since 2022. The only thing I knew to do was to look for what was wrong so I could fix it. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with the work? What's wrong with the boss? What's wrong with the relationship? Oh, change on, change on. Yeah. correct on. It's all good here. I used to have OCD bad. Um, you really can heal all of that. Like, the concept, just get the concept that we actually can shift those patterns by shifting the energy. Anyway, I don't want to go into that right now, but yeah. Hey, Dee Dee. Okay, so here we are. We're in a pile of crap in this country. We're looking at people who think nothing of abusing children, women, young girls. I mean, hey, honey bun. Um, and this causes us incredible distress, and thank God for that. It should cause us distress. All right. But if all we do is focus on the news and focus on the distress and focus on the fear that comes up and the hey, aspire, and we just focus there, we're gonna have a problem. Because here's what's literally happening vibrationally. We are allowing that slower, more negative vibration to be a part of our energy. It slows us down, and it also delays our good. And when we slow down, because we're all completely connected vibrationally, we are slowing down the collective. So this is why when we come together and we meditate or we vision together, the energy is so high because we resonate with each other vibrationally. Even through this screen, we vibrate together. We have nervous systems that co-regulate, it's called. Our nervous systems co-regulate. If you go into a room full of depressed people, trust me, you're going to come out feeling kind of depressed. Do you have anybody have a bell they could ring? I don't even know. Somebody gave me a bell once for my birthday, a little tiny thing. I don't even know where it is right now. So how do we do this? How do we go through this particular time in our life? And thanks for the follow, Ranch Gal. Love your name. Um, and how do we help ourselves not get crushed under the weight? And how do we um, be a part of the recovery even while it's still in the process of destruction? And I'm going to tell you what the answer is that I've lived, and you can take it under consideration, okay? Because in 2022, after 40 years of clinical depression, 40 years of clinical depression and anxiety, I healed. Okay. In the middle of a total nervous breakdown, I thought I would not make it through the night. I was very suicidal and trying to avoid that entire concept. And I tried something that I later called the 1% solution. So that's now what I teach in workshops and stuff. And in 10 minutes, I resonated my core depression and all of that up just 10 minutes, and I was no longer suicidal. I was still a complete effing mess. Understand? I was not healed, but I was better. And after 40 years of taking the medication, going to the therapy, going to the group therapy, using alcohol, friends, chocolate, movies, whatever I could to get through, going to bed for weeks at a time, you know the drill? To be able to have a direct, unmistakable impact on my own depression was a complete revelation. I was like, oh my God, when they said I'm a co-creator of my reality, they were actually being literal. I actually can change my life, and not physically, But from the inside, oh my God. But I didn't have time to sit around and go, oh my God. I was doing this with the aid of writing. I was writing, and I recommend it because it keeps you focused. The end of 5 days, the depression was gone. Thank you. And the depression was gone. I had spent 5 days looking for every argument, every part of me that felt some aspect of depression or resistance or, around this. And at the end of 5 days, I suddenly found that I couldn't find one more thing. And I remember where I was sitting. I remember I put the pen down in my lap and I looked up and I said, something's different. And I realized that the black cloud that I had been following me around for 40 years wasn't there anymore. So just out of a desire to not die, I tried something outside of my comfort zone, outside of my mind's ability to be thinking about at the moment where I was afraid I was going to die. And by trying this thing, by walking into it and it being about the closest thing to you, which is your vibrational state, your emotional set point, I was able to shift it. Tiny, tiny, tiny steps, okay? Tiny, not big steps. Don't you dare do big steps if you're going to try that. Don't do it. It won't work. That's where we make a mistake. I'm going to change. Yeah, no, you're not. Chris, hi, baby. I've got Substack over here. Hi, honey. How are you? Hi, Dean. Welcome to the family. Good to see you. Oh, please, guys, share this out for me. I'm Lori with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, and what I do here is I incite rebellion from the inside out. I absolutely confront the things that seem to be truths that are set in stone, and we talk about how they're not set in stone and how we can become more of who we are, more of who we want to be, in an actual, real, and practical in a practical way. There's not just one way, because you're different, aren't you? Aren't you different from me? Aren't you unique? You're unique. How's it going, Chris? So think about all of these things that we're going through right now in this country. We are looking at the biggest shit show on earth currently. Now there's all kinds of these shows that have gone on this planet forever. Oh, thank you for the hearts too, guys. If you can keep pushing, that'll be great because then we'll get more people. Um, you're good? Awesome. So glad. So the first job is how can you get to a place where you understand what's happening, you can hold it in a place where you can feel peaceful. Why is that important? It's important because if you can find a way to your sense of peacefulness, however that looks, maybe it means you don't watch the news. Maybe it means that you look for a spiritual way to understand what's going on in the world so you can give it a balance, which is what I did. But the important thing is that if you can't feel some kind of relief, you're not going to be able to access your thoughts. You're not going to be clear. And then you're going to be doing what Lori did for so long, which is like run from pillar to post, run from one emergency to another emergency. Oh, Anki, where's the job? Oh, this White House stuff is killing me. Oh, where's the money? Oh, where? Whew. You know that doesn't really help, right? Like you know it, and yet we get swept into these emotional states. This that doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means there's something here that's telling you something. And the something here is saying, this doesn't feel good. Okay, it's going to tell you other stuff, potentially. You get to decide what you want to hear and what you want to learn. But it's telling you this doesn't feel good. And if you understand that your power is in your emotional set point because of its vibrational energy, then you can understand that when you feel better and you notice that because you feel better, things seem to be going better, then you understand, wait a second, I think I get it. I think I get that it's not just me and my body and my mind. This is how I want to have it done. This is what I want to make things do. You start to understand that there's something about you that is way bigger. It's it's not outside of you. It's you. But it's way bigger than just what you can do with your body. Whether you can go out and march, please do. Go out and make a phone call to some people and go, are you out of your freaking mind? Don't fund ICE, whatever, whatever. But it's astronomically more powerful than what we can say and what we can do with our bodies. Astronomically bigger. It's why I was able to cure the depression. Because in its own way, I didn't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? What I did was I ushered in some lighter things and I focused on them for a little bit at a time. And it did the work of pushing out the dark. So what was it back here in, let me see. I can't remember what it was that I saw, but it's, and thanks for the follow, Aspire Life. Um, hey, wait, how are ya? Hi, hi. Welcome to the family. Glad you're here. We're just here dismantling fear and misunderstandings of the stuff we think rules our lives, and it really doesn't. I mean, it's annoying, isn't it, when somebody says to you, if you just allow, oh, I'm so glad, wait, yay. Isn't it annoying when somebody goes, if you just let things happen, everything would go right. And you're like, how the hell am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to do that? And that's brilliant. Do you understand that when you are saying that, when you are going, how the hell, you're actually being brilliant? Do you know why? Anybody want to guess? Do you know why you're being brilliant? I'll tell you why you're being brilliant. Because you are giving yourself your current reality. You are acknowledging what is real for you in this moment. And you are also saying, I need to understand something. Try going into any church you can think of and tell them you want to tell them that the whole Adam and Eve thing is really a story about your consciousness, where Adam is the what's the word, Lori? The intellectual, and Eve is the intuitive, emotional, and the snake is the Kundalini energy rising, and that's our story. That's who we are. And when we leave Eden, it's because people have said to us, you're naked. Don't put your hand in the fire. Don't cross the street without your mom or your dad. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't be this. Don't say that. And we leave Eden, go into any church and tell them that's your reading of it or somebody's reading of it. It's certainly mine at this point, and see how quickly they usher you out the door. You're not allowed to question. You're not allowed to think expansively. But if you want to help be a part of the change of this planet, you need to consider things from different perspectives. Thank you. Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it's not the freaking Gulf of America. There's somebody over here, the mermaid from Gulf of Mexico. Thank you. Yeah, that Gulf of America thing. Really? So what is it about what I'm saying that leaves you with a question? Because that's where we need to start. We need to start with where there's a question. And I know my own questions, and I've answered a lot of them that I went looking for answers, right? I went looking for what is it that makes some people who are lousy human beings get all the goodies in life, and some people who were so stellar and freaking awesome and they got nothing, they got bupkis. I went looking for that answer. And over the years, I finally got it. It's energy. When you have an energy that you're aligned with, and you're not getting in the way of it by doubting yourself, putting other energies in there like, "Well, I don't know if I deserve this," or "I don't know," and those are the things that are in our heads, right? These are the energies that are in us. They're in our aura, in our vibrational frequency. But stop thinking they're mysterious because the way we think about things is the way they're gonna be. If I'm like, "Well, I know this is gonna be hard," more often than not, it's gonna be hard. Our signal. So, the idea that I teach is that you have your reality, right? You have what you've experienced, right? It's this big, just as an example. It's this big, and you're like, "Well, this is what's happened in the past, and so it's probably gonna happen in the future. So, I'll just keep trying. I'll keep trying." It's like, so we try really, really hard. Oh, I'm so glad. Mwah. Have a great evening, honey. Um, and if you just leave the door open a crack, just leave the door open, leave it open to possibilities this much. That's that whole thing about don't demand that something come to you in only one way. If, like for me, I'm leaning into a paid public speaking trajectory. And I know that it's about how I feel, and I know it's about the soup of my beliefs, my thoughts, my expectations, and I know from experience that when I align with something and I go, "Okay, I know this is true for me and I'm just gonna stick with it," that things start to happen. Like back in December, I said to my boss at this place, this contract work I was doing, I said, "I don't wanna be a contractor anymore. I don't wanna go through the temp service anymore. You're paying me 27 an hour, I should be making 95. And so I'm gonna be a consultant now." And she's like, "Are you leaving?" I said, "Well, I don't necessarily have to, but we need to work on this." She's like, "I'll do whatever I can to help you. I wanna keep you." Great. So I'm not getting $95 an hour, but I'm about to start making a whole lot more than I was making by mid-March. It's taken 3 months. So it hasn't gone in the way that I would have said would be great. Tomorrow, you're gonna make 95 bucks an hour. Yeah, that'd be fantastic, especially for someone who went homeless. Are you kidding me right now? Good God. So we really can do anything. Oh, thank you, Peg, honey. The contract is up at the end of February. Yeah, the contract's up at the end of February, and the HR people have been dealing with the agency, and the agency lady, I really don't wanna pay them, you're so right. And the agency lady and I have been working together for many years, so, thank you for watching out for me, I appreciate that very much. Um, yeah, I don't wanna pay them. And neither did the company, like, I could have started, in the consulting arena, like, a month ago, but then they would have had to pay me $10 less an hour than what they're actually gonna pay me. So, I'm like, "I'll wait, I'll wait." I the way that I want things to work is um I want to be out there being a speaker about all of this kind of stuff. I wanna help women understand and experience their strengths. I mean, we are natural leaders, you guys. We're natural leaders, and we've been brainwashed into thinking that we are less than. Now, if you say it to me, I know that's nonsense. I already know that. No, you don't. I'm sorry, but no, you don't. What you know is what your head knows, but you don't know until you embody and live a truth. Oh, Chris, you're over here now. Okay. Hi, Chris. Until you really can live the feeling that you say you understand. Yeah. Then you really don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're not smart. I'm saying there's two different kinds of knowledge. Thank you. There's two different kinds of knowledge. One is informational knowledge. I know a bunch of stuff, but can I live what I know? That's what's important to me. That's what I insist on pursuing, is that I feel that strength. I feel comfortable with me coming out here and saying things to you. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know that back in the, like, biblical days and stuff, um, knowledge meant experience? Isn't that cool? I'm gonna say goodbye to you, Substack. Have a good evening.